Welcome to a rainy season here in Tokyo. My name is Paul Tierney. I'm from Walk Japan. Tokyo is really a city of neighborhoods, and we're going to see that today. We're going to see some of the temples and shrines and the small areas that allow you to get to see the sights and flavors and sounds of Tokyo as it really lives. Standing right behind me here, we have Nihonbashi. This is one of the oldest bridges in Tokyo. It was first built in 1603 and was the center of Edo's commercial district. Everything was centered on this bridge. The fish market was located right over here to the northeast side of the bridge. Over behind me, we had the dry goods store, with Mitsukoshi being the most famous of them. And this is one of the three Hisen-ryo, 1,000 ryo a day areas. They were doing over $1 million of business here a day, every day. Nihonbashi was the 0-mile marker for all roads, the 5 great roads linking feudal Japan. And if we look in the center of the road right now, might be a little bit tough to see, you can see the 0-mile marker. However, in the Edo period, it didn't exist. And up until the Meiji period, it was actually a lamppost, of which we can see the replica above us right now. And it was there all the way up until World War II. Kanda Shrine was founded in the early 700s and was originally located outside of what is now Edo Castle, the Imperial Palace. However, Tokugawa Ieyasu was not comfortable having a powerful spirit so close to his castle. So in 1603, he relocated the shrine, and then in 1613, relocated again to its current location, where it's been to this day. There are 3 deities enshrined here at Kanda Shrine: Daitokuten, Ebisu, and Taira no Masakado. Daitokuten is one of the gods of prosperity and is also god of relationships. Ebisu is a god of prosperity and so is very popular for entrepreneurs and businessmen wishing for success in business. And the third, Taira no Masakado, is a fearful spirit. He is also seen as a protector of the poor and a protector of Edo as a whole, and that is why this temple is one of the 10 most popular shrines in all of Tokyo. Welcome to Akihabara, the heart of all things otaku, or nerd in Japan. This is the mecca for pop culture. If you like anime, if you like figures, if you like cosplay, this is the place to come. But it wasn't always this way. In the Edo period, this was an area of low-level samurai and commoners mixed together. So this was really an area of transition. After the Restoration and in the early 20th century, this became a place where people would come to buy parts for the radios. At that time, you couldn't buy a radio, you had to buy parts, and there were distributors selling parts here. In the 1980s, they started to shift from small electronics parts, transistors and diodes, over to computers and electronics goods. After that, it shifted even more when the otaku culture were also expressing their interest in anime and figures, and now it is transformed into the area that it is now. Very, very popular with Japanese and foreigners alike, looking for those special figurines. What we're coming up now on is a disappearing site in Tokyo, as well as all of Japan, and that is the Sentō, the public bath. In the Edo period, water was very, very precious, and fires were such a great concern that what they did is, rather than having baths in each household, which needed more water and more firewood, they would have the public bath. But as private housing with toilets of their own and baths of their own became more and more common, they're disappearing. In fact, without subsidies, these public baths wouldn't be around at all. If you get a chance, it is definitely a fun experience to do. But on a day like today, we don't need a public bath. We're getting wet as it is. We're about to enter another disappearing part of Tokyo's life, the pedestrian shopping district. This is Yanaka Ginza, and Ginza, strictly translated, means silver mint, but colloquially, it's the equivalent of a high street. And this is where people come to shop in this neighborhood. They don't try to cater to everybody, they're catering to the people who live in and around the area. We've got an electronic shop, we've got bookstores, we have shoe stores, we also have greengrocers and fish vendors. It gives us a nice flavor of what Tokyo used to be like in the post-war period. And the mascot of Yanaka Ginza is the cat. If you look on the telephone poles, you'll see cats. If you look in the buildings, you'll see figures of cats. So as we're walking down the street, keep your eye open for the maneki neko and the other cats of the area. If you come to Tokyo, you have to come to Sensō-ji. Everybody who comes to Tokyo comes to Sensō-ji. This is the oldest temple in all of the city. In fact, this temple was around long before there was even an Edo. Let's find out about it as we head down Nakamise-dori. Nakamise-dori is the oldest shopping promenade in Japan. It was founded in 1685, but it's always been a popular destination. In Edo, there were no public parks. That's why temples were such a popular area to come to relax. And if you have people coming to relax, you have entrepreneurs wanting to sell to them. And what they sold to them was food, entertainment, books, novelties, and souvenirs. And the only thing that's changed over the past 300 years is what they're selling. In addition to sundry goods, chopsticks, novelties, we also have some very good and very traditional snacks. Koko de ii. Sumimasen. Hai. Oi. Ima tabemasu yo. This is one of Asakusa's meibutsu, famous goods. And what we have here is the lantern from Furai Jimon. Itadakimasu. The temple has been kind enough to give us a storyboard to help us understand the founding of the temple. On one day, 628 AD, two fishermen brothers pulled up a golden statue in their net when they were fishing. The statue became known as the Hibutsu. And this statue is so powerful, it needed to be hidden away from view, and so it was. 200 years after the statue was found, Eining decided to carve a replica of the statue in the same size and likeness of the statue, and this became known as the Maedachi. But once he was done, he figured that it was so powerful as well, it should be hidden from view. And now, to this day, in the main hall, there are not one, but two altars, and the one altar is where the Maedachi is, and behind that is where the Hibutsu is said to be hidden, but it hasn't been seen for more than 1,400 years. We've had a long day walking, and now I think it's time for us to let our hair down and go and relax and maybe have a bite to eat, something to drink, and see how people enjoy themselves over at Ueno. You certainly wouldn't know it from looking at it right now, but this area, Ameyoko, was originally a black market. After World War II, when Tokyo was a burned ruin, all of the major stations in Tokyo, Ueno, Shinbashi, Shinjuku, had black markets. And the name is said to come from American servicemen would pilfer goods from base, bring it here and give it to Japanese brokers who would sell it to the people who needed foodstuffs, clothing, and sundries to make it their way through everyday life. Later on, and even to this day now, it is for ethnic goods. People from out of Japan, from Vietnam, China, Thailand, who want a taste of home, come here to buy the spices and goods that they can get only here in Tokyo. Well, to wind down our day in Tokyo, I think it might be a good idea to take us to one of my favorite places called Niku Oyama. What they've got is excellent grilled meat skewers, as well as a very tasty, delicious local drink known as hoppi. はい、ホッピ白一つセットね、一つで、あとウロンハイ一つ、コーラを一つ、そして親鳥一つでお願いします。はい、ありがとうございます。And that concludes a long day of walking through Tokyo. And this is how we wrap up our day, with good drink, good food, good smells, and good friends. Kanpai, and see you in Tokyo.